Stag Impact from Alaia doesn't have enough damage to hurt Soul. Just when you think you can finally take down the tank, Soul heals him back to full with his sequential ability. KT7 up here. Today, I will review and showcase 140 Soul, a unit that has excellent strike and single target resistance. From his main kit, he has two abilities that can remove courage. He can deal very good magic damage and heal his teammate all in one turn with sequential ability. He can also inflict poison and has a 7500 physical damage barrier. Soul is the best roll compression unit we have seen in the game. He is not just a hard counter to Alaia, he can do much more. These are the items we will go over today. Let's get started. Soul is a 100 cost mage type unit in the fire element. Comes in with a new unique main job with Scholar and Rune Knight as sub-jobs. His TMR is a cloth, the stats are HP 333, crit evade 6, defense 11, and spirit 6. The ability is a cross-shape AoE buff, grants the group human killer debuff upon hit for 3 turns, and lower the user's hate by 6. Human killer debuff will increase your team's survivability, could be useful to give it to the support unit. His base HP is 3691, it is close to tank level. His magic is at 437, the second highest in the game. Base agility at 54, it can easily be built to around 110. His luck is very high at 193. He is not an evade unit, but the high luck will help him avoid crit hits, which he is also very good at. Soul is a magic-based unit, give him 97 faith. His weapon type resistances are 20 to slash, 35 to strike, and 10 to magic. Minus 10 pierce and minus 5 to missile. His ailment resistances are 10 to poison, 50 to slow and 50 to stop. Pretty good, but since he is a 97 faith unit and will be closer to the front line, give him some ailment resistances from Truststone. He has the standard 3 move and 1 jump, and can equip staff, cloths, and hats. Moving on to his mastery. He has 10 single target resistance and 20 reaction block rate on top of the typical fire element buffs. At level 140, he gets 10 strike resistance, 30 crit evade. An upgrade to his job level 25 ability to include recover HP small if he KOs an enemy using that attack. His crit evasion can be at a very high level, and he will constantly attack while healing back either himself or a teammate. Next, let's look at his new weapon. The additional ability for everyone is magic attack up 15. And for all fire units, they will also get strike resistance 8 and reaction block rate of 30. I recommend the magic type for Soul. He has a sure hit, so I wouldn't worry too much with accuracy. Moving over to his main job support abilities. The first one gives him magic 24%, spirit penetration 40, magic resistance penetration 30, and healing power of 15. A 4-in-1 ability, put this on him 100% of the time. The other support ability gives him the float status, hate down 5, and single target resistance of 12. Some attacks such as Perrine's Vortex Kick will not be able to hit Soul. Both of these support abilities are very good. They are my go-to. His main job reaction has a 70% proc chance. It reduces incoming slash and strike damage by 40%. This is his best reaction in my opinion. Now his LB. It is a diamond shape AoE attack, up to 5 panels away. Prior to damage, dispel shell and courage. Then deals non-elemental damage large. It has a 67% chance to inflict poison. And attack down 40%, healing power down 50, plus lower target's fire resistance by 25 if poison lands. This is a crazy good LB, it poisons your opponents if they don't die, and lowers both their damage and fire resistance. Plus remove courage and shell. Next, let's look at his buffing abilities. The first one has the highest priority. A cross-shape AoE buff. For 3 turns, increase strike resistance 15 to the group. And if the teammates are fire units, the increase will be 35 instead of 15, including Soul himself. Also grants the group protect. Plus a 7500 physical damage barrier for himself. The second buff is herself only. For 3 turns, increases his magic by 40% and crit evasion by 50%. Also lowers incoming AoE damage. I don't know exactly how the damage reduction is calculated, but it is about 2 to 3% for each panel the AoE covers. I have listed the results I have gotten during testing. This AoE damage reduction effect cannot be dispelled. Soul does not have any AoE resistance from his kit. This ability will help him survive on the battlefield. Also, this is another way for Soul to get more crit evasion. It is very rare for opponents to land crit hits on him. Moving on to his attacking abilities. The first one has a range of 6. It is Select 2 ability with a range height of 2, just like Stag Impact. Deals a 2-hit medium damage and lower target's AP by 15. Plus a sequential ability to heal one teammate after the attack. This is his signature attack and it is so annoying to deal with. Select 2 at range 6 and range height of 2 is already busted. Plus it lowers AP and heals a teammate. You will hate fighting against him, it is as if you cannot kill his tank. His second attack from the list is a cross-shape AoE, up to range 5. It has a cast time of 320. Deals medium damage. The modifier will increase against more targets, a 25% increase for each additional unit, and a base 50% chance to inflict poison. The poison chance will increase by 25% if the target has AP auto-restore, haste, or is berserk. This is another very good ability, but I like to turn this off most of the time because of the casting time. But this is his only AoE attack from his main kit besides his LB. So it could be messy if you are facing a Soul with 100% single target resistance. Next is his low AP attack. It has a range of 3, deals non-element damage, and a sure hit. Now his job level 25 ability. Another Select 2 attack, it has a range of 4. Remove courage prior to damage, then deals damage medium, and recover HP small if the targets are KO'd. The healing stacks, so if he KOs both targets, he will heal double the amount. This is another great ability, remove courage and heal back. Okay, next let's look at the sub-part of his main job. The first ability is a single target, non-elemental magic attack. Before damage, increase his spirit and magic resistance penetration, both by 40. Then deals medium damage. The other ability is an instant self-heal. Lower hate by 3, recover HP medium, then increase his CT by 300. This is a very good ability. Hate down and CT up is huge, can ensure he takes another turn faster. But his AI will opt to heal himself instead of taking out an enemy if his HP is below 50%. This ability is a double-edged sword, it could win you a match or cause you a match. Be mindful of that. Let's move over to his Scholar sub. The support abilities are Scholarly Intuition and Knowledge Reserves. Scholarly Intuition could be useful in specific situations, but I like his main job support way better. Don't use Knowledge Reserves, it is a waste of a slot. The reaction ability is Reactive Force, 30% chance to counter-attack. Only has a range of 2, don't use it. The only notable ability from Scholar is Fire Invocation. A diamond-shape AoE around self, increase fire attack and single target resistance by 25 for 3 turns. This ability is the reason why I run Scholar sub on him when I put Soul on a mono fire team. With this buff, his single target resistance can be at above 85. And that is the only ability I have on for Scholar. Next is Rune Knight sub. He gets Sharp Mind, giving him Spirit Penetration 40 and Accuracy 20. Combining with his main support ability 1, he can get up to 80 Spirit Penetration. But I don't recommend it. The other support is Fire Enhancing Rune, this is not so good. The reaction ability is Magic Commutation. 30% chance to recover 15% AP after taking damage. Not good. The two notable abilities are Drain Evocation and Hazard Slash. Drain Evocation has very long range, he could get baited to attack. Hazard Slash is good, giving him another type of attack, and it is another AoE attack. It can also dispel Shell. Rune Knight is a more offensive option for him, not a bad choice for chaining with Rain or other slashing teammates. Alright, That's all for his kit. Now let's look at his vision card. It supports Sword Warrior, Great Sword, and Staff Devout. The stats are HP 345, Magic 156, and 3 defense. The party abilities are Elemental Chain Resistance 36, Magic Man-Eater 20, and Agility 15%. The bestowed abilities are Magic Up 10% and Single Target Resistance of 10. This is a very good card. Agility 15% is always needed, the Magic Man-Eater is good, the Elemental Chain Resistance is okay. The 10 Single Target Resistance from bestowed is perfect for Soul. Besides Irvine's VC, I don't recall any other card that has 10 Single Target Resistance from bestowed. If you are going for Soul, this Vision card is a must. It supports many fire units. Staff Devout and Great Sword has a few VC overlaps. The new Astrius is supported by this VC too. It is a very good card to have even if you decided not to get Soul. Next up, Equipments and Espers. His new staff is a great choice, but the legendary staff has higher magic stat, a CT up 200 when HP drops below 80%. This could interrupt you enemy's chain and turn the tide. In the second slot, Survival Vest is the best choice for more single target resistance. Or you can give him status ailment resistances from different items. In the TMR slot, there are two schools of beliefs. I personally like the high agility more. But many people like OG Marshari's TMR on Soul. His AI will opt to heal over dealing damage if the threshold is met. That means he will walk over to use the TMR ability mid-fight to heal multiple teammates even when his own HP is full. While he can heal one teammate with sequential ability and possibly KO one enemy. The AI will forego damage to keep his teammates alive. I can see how this is useful, but in my experience, this TMR caused me a few losses. So I am sticking with agility. There are ways to give the team an instant AoE heal without putting it on Soul. I will show that in the sample team section. Haste TMR is very difficult to pull off without turning off his own buffs. The two Espers that are superior than the rest are regular Bahamut for high damage plus strike resistance, and Dark Siren for magic resistance and single target resistance. Both of them have very good agility as well. All the other magic-based Espers showing here are very good for Soul as well. Moving over to his Truststones. With the equipments showing below, this is what I have. On the left, Barrier or Shield set are the best for more healing power. Besides luck and HP, I highly recommend giving him Paralyze resistance to counter Aulaya, and Poison resistance to counter Soul. Crit Evade is also a very good choice. All the other slots should be ailment resistances depending on the meta. Crit Evasion set is gaining popularity lately, but for Soul, Barrier or Shield is the best. On the right side, Agility is my go-to. The abilities are Magic Up and Fire Attack Up, Healing Power Up and Crit Rate Up, Spirit Penetration and Magic Resistance Penetration. Take out Crit Rate Up for skill activation time down if you decided not to turn off his AoE attack from his main kit. Next up, sample teams. The first team I have is my favorite Soul setup with Rain and Shawls. Notice, Shawls has Summer Elsie's TMR for an instant cross-shape heal up to range 5. This way, Soul can focus on damage and leaving all the healing to Shawls. Both abilities from Summer Elsie's TMR and OG Marshari's TMR have only one use, keep that in mind. Soul is on his Scholar sub-job, with both of his main job support abilities and main job reaction. The Vision cards here support all 3 units. And they are as follow. Soul has his own VC as main for 36 Elemental Chain Resistance, 20 Magic Man-Eater, and 15% Agility for the group. Omen is his sub for 13 additional Magic Man-Eater, for Spirit, and 10 Missile Resistance for the team. And 5 Fire Attack Up and 4% Max HP from bestowed. On Rain, he has Dark Tetra as main, for 10 Missile Resistance, and 15 Single Target Resistance from party abilities. And 5 AoE Resistance from bestowed. Sorrow's card as his sub for 18% luck, 11% max HP, and 8% agility for the party. On Shawls, she has Silver Memories as main for 60% magic, 16 crit evade, and a very important 20 AoE resistance for the group. Also 8% agility from bestowed, which is very important for Shawls to have, since her TMR does not have any agility. The Encounter of Heroes as her sub for 25% more magic, 7 accuracy, and 10 slash resistance for the group. If you don't have Shawls, Minwoo is a decent replacement. She has some instant healing and can cast haste. In a build like this, Soul has 50 spirit penetration and 40 magic penetration, 62 single target resistance, and it can reach 87 after active buff. A total of 40 AoE resistance, 20 from VC plus another 20 from Shawls. There is no way to increase Soul's penetrations in this setup, which is fine. He can deal very good damage as is. You might be wondering if the Brachiosaur is a better choice to maximize the single target resistance for Soul. Yes, it is. But in this build I want Rain to have over 100 AoE res after Shawl's buff. He starts off at 82, and will be at 102 for 5 turns. The enemy's AI will opt to use single target attack against Rain, instead of using AoE attacks that could include Soul. This will pay off big time, especially when facing Bradley and Sephiroth, who both can break physical barrier with their large AoE attacks. Soul's barrier is a huge part of his survivability, and he is much weaker against AoE attacks. It is a good idea to force the enemy to use single target attack against the tank for the initial engagement phase. He will constantly be healing his tank with sequential ability, and Shawls can revive him in case he gets KO'd. Boosting the tank's AoE resistance have many benefits for a Soul team. Next we have the FFBE Fire Bros team with Rain and Hyo. Both Rain and Hyo have super high AoE resistance. Though this is not the best Soul team, but it is not bad at all. On the right side, I have a few more fire teams. The team with King Mont works as well as Rain, if not better. His LB has the physical damage reduction aura just like SummerGlaciela. And he can inflict Berserk and disable. You can put Soul in all types of fire teams. I really like the team with Satya, she can deals very good damage from the backline. A team with just a single DPS unit could feel lacking sometimes. The 2 vision cards I want to highlight here are the Phoenix card for some magic resistance and the Keeper of the Crystal for fire attack up and fire resistance. Both of these are very useful in a Soul mirror match. Moving on to the Staff Devout team with Amulet and Resnick. This is the team I use for Soul mirror match. My Soul is on his main job sub for self-heal. Both his main job support abilities and main job reaction. He has the Dark Siren Esper for the 10 fire resistance, 5 single target resistance, and 15 magic resistance from the board. Soul has his own VC as main. The Kefka VC as his sub for 21 magic attack up, 6 defense, and 20% max HP. Magic up 5% and missile resistance 5 from bestowed. On Amulet, she has the Silver Memories as main. The Blossoms in the Dark as her sub for 13 magic man-eater. On Resnick, she has the Master Coral as main for 20 single target resistance, 16 magic resistance, and 48 reaction block rate. This VC is so very good for a mirror match against Soul. And finally the FMA VC as her sub for 9% additional agility and 5 more single target resistance. Soul's single target resistance can reach over 100 in this build. The enemy Soul will only use his LB and the AoE attack with casting time to attack. Shawls and Resnick are interchangeable here. Next we have the weapon group. The group is ready as I have just shown in the last slide. It is safer to run a tank, but I think they will do fine without one. Great Sword and Staff Devout have a few VC overlaps. AoE resistance and agility are ready. If you have the Pinnacle Everfar card, congratulations. It will do a lot of work for you when new Astrius arrives in Global. You will see some Joom and new Astrius with Soul in the future, as both of them share a duo element vision card with Soul. Now my final thoughts. Soul single-handedly stops Strike. He is a meta-defining unit. His single target resistance is one of the highest in the game. Plus this 7500 physical damage barrier will hard stop many physical teams that can't break his barrier early. Even though he does not have the highest penetrations, he will deal good damage while healing his teammate. And if your opponent survive his LB, they are very likely to be poisoned. Along with Shawls and a tank, a Soul team is very difficult to take down. Don't be surprised if your SummerGlaciela team lose to a Soul team. His two weaknesses are barrier breaks and AoE attacks, but with the right setup he can overcome them. As I mentioned, his penetrations are not very high, which could give him problems against units such as Charlotte, who can built to have very high magic resistance. New Astrius has the tools to keep Soul in check, but I don't think he is quite there yet. Soul is a very powerful unit. I would highly recommend everyone to pull for him. He won't be as overpowering as Alaya. Instead, he will annoy your opponents with constant healing, torture them with poison, and let them watch their HP bar fades away turn after turn before they finally give up those 3 stars. Or finish with style, healing his tank back to full HP after his final attack. Now finally, a few sample matches. The first match of the day is my all-purpose fire team going up against Full Strike. Soul's first action. Cross-shape AoE buff, increase the group strike resistance by 35 and protect for 3 turns. And a 7500 physical damage barrier. Shawls and Soul just work so well together. All her buffs work so well with Soul's kit. AoE resistance, magic damage up and HP regen. This is a great duo. AoE resistance and crit evasion up from Shawls. Fire Invocation from Soul. Increase the team's fire attack and single target resistance 25 for 3 turns. Stag Impact from Alaya only did 3300 to Rain. Soul select 2 attack. 2 hit, medium damage, and decrease target's AP by 15. Then sequential healing for Rain. Alaya's Stag Impact again. Did no damage to Soul. She can't break his barrier with just 1 hit. Soul's strike resistance is at 93 here. That's the AoE heal from SummerGlaciela's TMR. All 3 units are back to full HP. Second Stag Impact on Soul, still no damage. Then preemptive counter, and still no damage. LB from Soul. Remove Shell and Courage. Then deals non-elemental damage large. 67% chance to inflict poison. And attack down 40%, healing power down 50, and lower fire resistance by 25 if poison lands. GG Strike Team. Next up. Staff Devout Team going up against Soul, Shawls, and King Mont. Cross-shape AoE buff, increase the group strike resistance by 15 for Amulet and 35 for Soul, plus protect for 3 turns. And a 7500 physical damage barrier for Soul only. Magic damage barrier for Amulet and Soul. Soul's second action. Self-buff, increase his magic by 40% and crit evade 50, plus the AoE damage reduction effect for 3 turns. Single target resistance buff from Resnick. Soul's single target resistance is now at 102. Watch the enemy only uses AoE attacks against Soul. The enemy Soul uses the only AoE attack from his kit besides LB. Damage medium, and chance to inflict poison. Resnick has nothing else to do than attack. The other Soul is KO'd while casting. Building up single target resistance or AoE resistance will alter what the enemy's AI would do. That's it for the other Soul team. I will show a few more matches but won't be commenting. Good luck on your polls if you decide to go for Soul. That's all I have for today. Thank you for watching. Have a good one. By the way, I think Soul looks like Dr. Manhattan.
保する美しき真理だ。